Hello, good morning. Today we will be discussing about law of demand. So far in demand topic, we saw what is demand meaning and definition of demand. Then we saw the analysis of demand, that is individual demand and market demand, and then we saw what are the types of demand: derived demand, complementary demand, etc. Now today we will be I will be talking about law of demand. Again, I am repeating the same thing which I told you while explaining law of diminishing marginal utility. This part is divided into three sections. That is law of demand, assumptions of law of demand, and exceptions to the law of demand. Now, in explanation of law of demand, again it is divided into three parts, and that is explanation of law itself, part A, demand schedule, showing the consumer's behavior when price falls, price rises, and third part, demand curve to be drawn with the help of demand schedule. So, what is law of demand? Law of demand states that other things remaining same, other things remaining constant, a larger quantity of a commodity is demanded at a lower price than at a higher price. Dr. Marshall gives the law in the words. He says that the law of demand states that quantity demanded rises with the fall in price and diminishes with the rise in price. In other words, more is demanded at low price or less is demanded at higher price. See, this is explanations. Now, in this explanation, you have to go ahead and again explain in different words. So this is first part of explanation. In second part of point number 2, in explanation itself, you have to write, in short, the demand for commodity expands, rises as the price falls. You have to use the word expands and don't use the word increase, even though the dictionary meaning is same, because increase and decrease words are used when other than demand is affected, other than price. So coming back to the explanation, demand for commodity expands, that is rises, as the price falls, and contracts, that is falls, as the price rises. The relationship between, this is very important, the relationship between price and quantity demanded is negative. The law states that demand varies inversely with the price. In other words, they are opposite to each other. As the price rises, demand falls. as the price falls, demand rises. This is the law which is given in law of demand. Now, as we saw in analysis, there is individual demand and market demand. So, is this law is applicable to both? Yes. The inverse relationship between price and quantity can be seen in the case of individual demand and also market demand, where there are large number of consumers demand goods as per their income, as per their taste, likes and dislikes, and price presently prevailing in the market on the day when they go for purchase. So these are the points 1, 2, 3 you have to explain. Now coming to second part. Now the law of demand can be shown or expressed or explained with the help of demand schedule. Now we have seen in the case of individual schedule, individual demand, we wrote individual demand schedule. In case of market, we saw market demand schedule. Individual demand schedule is demand schedule. So same schedule you can give while explaining the law of demand, but you have to write demand schedule. Don't write individual demand schedule, because this demand schedule will represent individual as well as market demand schedule. So you should write only demand schedule. So now what is demand schedule? Demand schedule shows a in tabulation or in tabular form, it shows price of quantity which will be demanded on one side and actual demand made by the consumer on another side. So now I will show you demand schedule from textbook, and explanation of same will be read by me while explaining the demand schedule. And then we will see next part, that is demand curve. Now, in the textbook, it is given that table so and so demand schedule. In this schedule, prices of mangoes are given on left hand side and demand for mangoes in kgs given on the right hand side. So, at rupees 50, quantity demanded is 1 kg. As the price falls to 40, demand rises to 2 kg. As the price falls further to 30 by 10 rupees, then demand rises to 3. And at the end, if you see, when price is 10, quantity demanded is 5. So this table shows that as the price of mangoes fall, demand for mangoes goes on increasing. It shows that more is demanded at a lower price and less at a higher price. There is inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded by consumer. Now, this is second part of your explanation. Now, uh, the table which is shown is to be presented, graphical presentation of this demand schedule is to be explained in your answer, and the demand curve is here. So this demand curve shows, in OX axis shows quantity demanded and OY axis shows price of mangoes. Now when the price is 50, quantity demanded is 1. When price falls to 40, demand is 2. When price is 30, demand is 3. When price is 20, demand is 4. And at price 10, quantity demanded is 5. So the demand curve is DD is demand curve. If you join these points, you get demand curve. So demand curve slopes downward from left to right. In other words, its slope is negative because the relationship between price and quantity demanded is inverse. So this is how you have to explain the law of demand. Again, I will repeat. In your law of demand, you have to give actual law, then law explanation of that law which is given by Marshall. Then you have to explain the law by drawing demand schedule and then demand curve. This is what is to be written. You have to write while answering the question, what is law of demand. Now we will go to the next part, and that is exception to the law of demand. Now, as I told you that this law is divided into 3 parts. That is explanation of law of demand, and second part is assumptions of law of demand, and third is exception to the law of demand. Now, while explaining determinants of demand, I told you various factors. As other than price, there are many factors which affects the demand. But law of demand states or is applicable only we see the price prevailing in the market. But in actual life, there are many factors which affect demand. But there are factors which affect the demand are to be understood, because in day-to-day life there are many factors which affect the demand other than price. So the law of demand explains the functional relationship between demand and price. No doubt, Price is important factors or determinant which governs demand. But while explaining the law, we said that other things remaining constant, other things remaining equal. So this phrase implies the assumptions or conditions of law of demand. Now, which are the factors which are to be assumed as constant? So it is called conditions of law of demand. So population is one of the factors which greatly affects demand. More is demanded when population increases and less when it declines. It can be observed that price remaining same or constant, more will be demanded if the population in your area, number of flats goes on increasing in your area, the demand for various goods will increase even though price remains constant. So this is, I told you, this is observed by us. For example, when I came to Borivali in 1976, there were very few buildings in our area. Now as on today, there are large number of buildings and number of flats. So the demand for necessaries of life in terms of milk, bread or anything, medicines, has gone up like anything because of increase in population. So while writing or while explaining the law, we have to write assumption that it is assumed that size and composition of total population will remain unchanged. Second assumption is income. It is assumed that there is no change in the income of individual. If there is change in the income, if a consumer gets more money, अगर तुम्हारा खिसा गर्म है, तुम्हारे पास पैसा आया, so you will naturally spend more. The demand will increase because you have money. But at the same time, if you are getting unemployed, in present situation, there are many people who are unemployed. They don't have their jobs, they don't get their income. So their income is very negligible. So even though the prices are going up or down, it doesn't affect, but actual, because of less income, the demand for goods is down or it is decreasing. So in other words, again, law is based only on, it shows the relationship between price and quantity demanded. But third factor, which is to be assumed as constant, even though it is actually affecting demand, is test customs of consumers. So these factors also affect it has a powerful influence on the level of demand of a commodity, for a commodity. If the consumer begins to like or dislike particular commodity, his demand for that product, for that commodity will increase or decrease depending upon his change in his likes and dislikes. Similarly, there are habits of a consumer. If he is habituated with some, for example, bad habits like smoking cigarette or other habits, so he he will demand more even though prices are going up. Every year government is increasing GST, that is indirect tax, on cigarettes and liquor. In spite of that there is more demand. In order to curb this consumption, government is imposing the levies tax, but there is no much fall in demand or decrease in demand because people are habituated with that product or commodities. Now, next thing which is affecting demand is prices of substitutes. The demand for commodity depends not only on the price of that commodity but also other commodities that are brought and sold in the market which are acting as a substitute. Now the explanation or example I have already given while explaining the determinants of demand. Even I will repeat it again. If we consider the demand for Colgate toothpaste, then we have to assume that the price of its substitute, that is Vicco Vajradanti or other toothpaste, it will remain as constant. Thus, if this is the assumption, then you will observe when price of Colgate falls, the demand for it will rise, provided the prices of substitute remains constant. But if there is fall or rise in price of other substitute, then Colgate, the demand for Colgate will not rise or fall, increase or decrease. So, price of substitute also affect demand other than price which is experiencing the law of demand. Now next is expectation of or expectation about future prices. When the price of a commodity falls a little, consumer should not expect further fall in its price or further rise in price. If that is expected, if he expects further fall in price, then he will not demand more quantities because he will say, अभी price 10 का 8 हो गया, थोड़ा और कम होता है बाद में मैं लूँगा. So when if he thinks in that way, and then the law will not operate. Similarly, at present, if the price of sugar is 40, if it goes to 50, he will demand more because he expects that it will go to 60, it will rise to 60. So expectation about fall or rise in price will be remaining unchanged while learning or explaining law of demand. Now further, next point of assumption is new product. Now one should not expect new products are coming in the market. The demand for one product is considered when we consider one demand for one product, we have to assume that no new product will be introduced in the market which would act as substitute or as a competitor. So for example, there were black and white TV. Now when color TV came, the demand for black and white TV went away. So irrespective of price, now if you see the day-to-day life, new mobiles are coming in the market. So we have to assume that these new products will not be affecting demand which we are considering while learning law of demand. So again, we have to assume that law of demand will not operate. So other things remaining constant. So we have to assume that new product will not be introduced while law of demand is studied. Now next is quantity of money in circulation. It is assumed that the quantity of money in circulation does not change. Next point is taxes. So while explaining or while learning the law, we have to assume that tax rate will not change because it will affect the prices of the goods. Now, other thing which affect the demand is customs and traditions, festivals. During this season, the demand is more, even though prices are going down or up. So, even though prices are remaining constant, So, these are the various assumptions or conditions of law or determinants of demand which we have to assume as constant. So, we have learned second part of the law of, in the section of that demand, that is law of demand. So we saw law of demand, its explanation, its presentation in the form of schedule, then explanation in the form of demand curve. Now, and then we saw the assumptions or determinants of law of demand. Now we are going to third part of law, that is exceptions to the law of demand or exceptional demand curve. So are there any exceptions in law to the law of demand? Yes. When we learn law of diminishing marginal utility, same question was discussed by us. That is, are there any exceptions to law of DMU? Then in that case, I said no. There are no exceptions to the law of diminishing marginal utility. But in case of law of demand, there are certain exceptions. It is usually observed that law of demand is applicable to most of the commodities. Price and demand are inversely related. The relationship between demand and price is negative. Hence, demand curve slopes downward from left to right. However, there are certain conditions. Under these conditions, the law is not applicable. The demand curve shows upward trend. It rises from left to right. Rises. So, price and demand in case of exceptions are directly related. There is no inverse relationship between demand and price in case of exceptions. In this case, consumer purchase more at a higher price and less at a low price. So, in other words, law is not applicable. So, which are these situations when demand rises even though there is a rise in price? So, first exception to the law of demand is in case of inferior goods, or it is called Giffen's paradox. When the prices of inferior goods fall, their consumption gives place to consumption of superior goods. In other words, when the price of inferior goods become cheaper, the consumers, instead of buying more of that quantity, more of that, he purchases less of it and switch over to superior commodity. Now, I will explain this with example. Again, I am repeating what I said. When the prices of inferior goods fall, their consumption gives place to consumption of superior or better quality goods. So, instead of buying more of that inferior goods, consumer, by buying less of it, will save some money, and that money he will utilize for consumption of better quality available in the market, which is acting as a substitute. Now, for example, when the price of jawar and bajra falls because of fall in price, it will fall when, if price falls, the consumption of bajra and jawar also falls. How it is? So when these are available at a cheaper price, consumer will purchase less quantity by saving some income, and whatever income is saved will be his purchasing power, and that he will use for purchase of wheat. That is the psychology or tendency of the consumer. We also do same thing. If now, for example, if a person has 100 rupees budget and he is going for purchase of bajra, which is at 20 rupees, so naturally he will buy 5 kg of that corn, and so if at rate of 20 rupees he will buy 5 kg of jawar or bajra. Now if the price falls to 15, so his budget, his income with him, he has 100 rupees. So he will buy 5 kg when the price is 20. Now when price falls to 15, he should buy, as per the law of demand, he should buy at least 6 or 7 or 8. But he is not doing. He is buying 4 kg of jawar or bajra. So he is spending 15 into 4 is 60 rupees, and thus he saves 40 rupees, and he goes for purchase of wheat worth 40 rupees. So in this case, law is not operating, because even though the price is falling, even the price has fallen to 15, the law is not operating. So this is called Giffen paradox. So Giffen in England 100 years back, he observed this psychology. Now his workers were buying butter. Now butter means it is a substitute of bread, not that butter which we are putting on bread. So worker used to buy butter, and when the price of those butter falls, they went for bread instead of buying more butter. So in the textbook it is given bread and meat. But what I learned in my days was butter, because butter is substitute to bread. In textbook it is meat given. So now, so he observed this psychology of consumers, and that is why it is called Giffen's paradox. So in case of inferior goods for low income group, this law is not applicable, and hence it is called exception to the law of demand. Now come to next point. And next point of exception is prestigious goods, or it is called conspicuous consumption. Now this observation is found in the high income group. First one was in case of inferior good, it was observed in the case of tendency of low income group. Now this behavior of exception is found in the case of prestigious goods. The law of demand fails to operate in case of prestigious goods or costly goods. Costly articles like jewelry, diamond, paintings and other similar goods are brought by consumer high income group, not because they need it, but they want to show their prestige, they want to show their high standard of living. So in this case law is not applicable, because as the price of such goods fall, rich people, particularly ladies, they say अरे ये तो कितने का लिया है डायमंड का रिंग, और ये तो मैंने 50,000 में लिया, अरे मैंने तो 60,000 में लिया. So if the price is going up, they buy more. And then he says, if the price is falling to 40, it is not worth, because the price is not to my standard or to my income or my prestige. So this is found in case of prestigious goods. In case of such goods, when their price rises, people tend to buy more for exhibiting their riches. On the other hand, when the price of such good falls, there is no attention given by rich people, because their interest goes away. So if price rises, demand increases. If price falls for prestigious goods, for diamonds and gold ornaments, falls when price falls. So this is second exception to law of demand. Now there is one which is called demonstration effect. That is tendency of on the part of the consumer of low income group or middle income group to imitate the consumption pattern of the people staying around them. Now, so they say that बाजू में नेबर में ने लिया रेफ्रिजरेटर, हम भी लेंगे. So demonstration effect is also affecting, it is exception to law of demand. Now next is price illusion. Consumers in the modern world are influenced by price illusion. They tend to believe strongly that higher the price, better is the product. So this is in their mind that this is illusion on the part of the consumer. On the other hand, with slight fall in prices of such goods or commodities, the consumer feels that it is of low quality and the demand for it is not rising or will not rise. So, price illusion is also exception to the law of demand. Now, next is fashion. Fashion is exception to the law of demand. If a commodity has gone out of fashion, it will not be purchased because there is no fashion for these goods. So, in this case also, even the price of such goods fall, consumer will not buy because these goods, not commodities, are out of fashion. Now, next exception to the law of demand is inflation or depression period. In inflationary or in depression period, law is not applicable or is not observed. During an inflation period, price continues to show an increasing trend or there is a continuous rise in the price. If people anticipate still further rise in prices, they would rush to purchase more of the essential goods than they would normally buy. The demand for these goods may increase even though prices are rising. Similarly, in case of depression period, people don't buy goods in spite of fall in their prices. So, these are various factors which are affecting, which are exceptions to the law of demand. In these cases, law of demand is not applicable. The relationship between price and demand is positive. Now, I will show you demand curve, exceptional demand curve from textbook, because in my notes I don't draw any diagram. I make students to draw these diagrams. So that is why I will show you from my from textbook exceptional demand curve. Now, this is exceptional demand curve. Quantity demanded is shown on OX axis and price is shown on Y axis. So, demand curve, instead of going from left to right, as in the case of law of demand, it moves upwards from left to right, which shows there is more is demanded at a higher price and less is demanded at a low price. So this is to be drawn by you in examination. Drawing of demand curve is very important, otherwise you will not get full marks. So this is the demand curve. So today we saw law of demand, its explanation, demand schedule, demand curve, then second part, assumptions of law of demand. Now at the end we saw exceptional law of demand. So today we'll stop. Tomorrow will be the accounts lecture and day after tomorrow again economics. So in that in the next lecture we will see what is increase or decrease, what is extension and contraction, how to draw curves, demand curves, when there is increase in demand or decrease in demand, or when there is extension or contraction of demand, that is variation in demand or change in demand. It is technically it is called variation or change in demand. So that we'll be doing next time. Thank you.